Hello, ladies. Hi. Welcome to another night of Thrive. Please unmute and say, hey, girls.
Hey girl. Hey
Hey,
Hey,
girl.
girl.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. Listen,
Howdy,
I
howdy,
don't know
howdy.
about y'all, but I get excited on the first Thursday of the month, right? I find myself going through my little playlist. I'm like, oh, I gotta have some good songs for the ladies. All right, I gotta look cute for the ladies. I put on my good little lipstick for y'all and everything. Cause we in telesale and we don't care about how we look, but for y'all, I dress up. Okay. All right. So tonight, ladies, I'm super excited. We have I don't know. I don't think this lady realizes how much I've personally just kind of stalked her just a little bit. I've been watching her for at least a good strong year and a half or so. And since she's in the fold with us with National, her and her boyfriend, I get to see her all the time. And actually, I really, 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 my heart just skipped a beat when she reached out to me. Actually, one day I got a text message, just a random text message. And she says, hey, Crystal, you're killing it. Would you like to be a host on my call? I like to fell out my chair, y'all. I know what I'm talking about. When you get that phone call from the chick, that's the chick, she's that chick. And I'm like, what? You calling me? Child, I've been trying to get your number for like 5, 6 months because I want you to be on Thrive. She said, I would love to. I said, awesome. We're going to trade. I'll be on your call. You be on mine. And so it just worked out. She is just such an awesome soul. But let me just set her up real good for you ladies, okay? Because we are definitely in for a treat tonight. I will tell you this right now. Our energy matches. She matches my energy so good. I know she has a sister, but I don't think she would mind having another sister that has kind of an already built-in tan. So I think that'll be okay. Thank you. So she is from Massachusetts, born and bred. Now, that alone says a lot, okay? She does have one sister. We know her sister very well. They are absolutely probably the most beautiful sisters walking around. Her sister Christina, I Facebook stalk her too, but she's just gorgeous. Both of them are. And you know what? I'm not really going to say too much of an introduction because I kind of want her to talk a little bit on her own. You know how we do here at Thrive, right? We just like to talk. This is our girls' night out. This is the environment where we can let our hair down and really just be unapologetically ourselves. For at least a good hour, we get to do that once a month. No judgment, no guys up here. We don't have to worry about anybody looking over our shoulder. Oh, you're too emotional. Oh, straighten up. Oh, fix your hair. Honey, you can be whatever you want to be up here. This is our call. Okay? Drop some fire signs in the chat if you are excited about our call. This is our call in our environment. And we don't need no guys to tell us what we do because we know girls run the world anyway. All right? So I want to introduce my new friend, my new boo, my new big sister, who actually I think I'm older than her, but we're not going to talk about that. Miss Integrity Partner herself, Miss Marysa Maggio. Y'all please help me give her a nice warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Crystal. And I'm super, super excited and blessed to be on this call with you today. You crushed the team call that I invited you to, and just hearing that also made your day as well as mine is a win-win if you ask me. So thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Awesome. I just want to publicly again say thank you so much for having me. Sometimes we're just working, right? And we just don't know what we're doing. And then when someone kind of pulls us out of our element, it's kind of like, oh, me? What? Okay, I think I did that. Like, I don't even know, child. I don't know. I'm just trying to keep myself together. And that's why we have a ladies' call, because we just want to keep ourselves together. So, Marysa, you and I, we chopped it up a little bit earlier. We had a great conversation, but I want these ladies to get to know you the way that I've gotten to know you. There's only one other female up here that knows you absolutely. super, super good. But we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to go that far. We're going to leave that between the sisters. But talk to us a little bit about, how you got started. I think the ladies are going to be very interested to know your journey. So talk to us. I'm just going to open it up and just talk about how you actually got started with FFL and even prior to FFL.
Absolutely. So, again, thank you so much for having me on. This is a blessing and it's a breath of fresh air being on with a bunch of ladies, truly. So, thank you all for jumping on too. But as it pertains to my insurance journey, I actually got into the industry at a really young age. I had graduated college. I had just lost my mom, maybe give or take a year before that. So I wasn't confused that life insurance was important. Now my mom was very much that kind of mom that was like, you should go to college, you should get an education. An education is something that nobody can take away from you, which I would agree with that. So I did get my degree in finance and economics, graduated, and next thing I know, I am at my house where me and my sister lived at the time. And I'm telling my sister Christina, I'm a loser because I had just graduated college. And like, this was not a false perspective. This was like a true how I felt in that moment. That I was a loser because I didn't come out of college and just get offered this six-figure job, right? Which now I laugh and I'm like, that's so funny that like I thought someone was going to call me and like be like, oh, like we see you just graduated from Salem State University, like which is not impressive, by the way, guys. Okay. But with that being said, I went online, I applied to a couple different positions. Most of them were more geared to what I was used to, which was really like serving and bartending. That's what I did throughout high school, college, all that fun jazz. So I was in that for some time. And that's where I kind of exited into the insurance industry. Now, the ad I responded to was super vague. It was basically like, hey, if you want to make a lot of money and learn how to be a leader, send your resume is basically what it said. So I was like, okay, that sounds cool. That's kind of what I was looking for. So sent it. Get a call. I'm all, hyped up and I'm like, and they're like, oh, we want to interview you. And my sister's like, so she's like excited for me too. She's like, yeah, like go Marysa, right? And she's like, what job is it for? And I was like, I don't know. It's something about like management and like you can like build a business. Like I'm not really sure, but like this is so cool, right? So I get there and what I realized, or I did not realize at the time, but this is exactly what was happening, guys. This is not family first life, be clear. I did not walk in the door into a Cadillac, like in the industry. So y'all rock with me here, okay? I walked into like a broken down Honda Civic that I have no parts to, and I was like, you know what? Somehow I'm gonna be able to put this thing together, okay? So what they did, Crystal, is they had us all go into different rooms, and they just asked like a couple like baseline questions, just to kind of make sure you were like normal. And I'm just being honest, guys. They were like, do you have a car? Are you committed to hard work? Do you care about other people? And do you see why life insurance could be an important thing? And as long as you were like, yeah, like they were like, okay, we're going to put you in this main overview room. They then put you in this overview room with like, I was there with like 10 other people. And they began the meeting by saying, we're only going to pick two of you guys. We're really selective as it pertains to this position. So I'm in there, Chris, I'm like sweating. I'm like, oh my God, I hope they pick me, right? Like, I hope they pick me, right? I don't even know the position, okay? Like, I just hope that they picked me, right? So I leave there and I'm all hopeful. I'm like, I hope that I made a good impression. Like, I probably I definitely called my sister on the way home and I was like, like whatever. I was all jacked up about it. Now, lo and behold, an hour later, I get a call and they're like, we want to offer you the position. I'm like, awesome, cool. So I go to my practice company or my first practice company, which is captive, just so y'all are rocking with me. And I get licensed. And now I was like good at school. At least I thought I was good at school. I got like straight A's. Like my mom was always proud of me and stuff in that regard. But I couldn't pass that exam like at that time if my life depended on it. The first time I got a 69, which you needed a 70 here in Mass to pass. Then I got a 68, then I got like a 60. And then I was like, I literally remember leaving the test the third time that I failed it. And I called my sister and I said, Christina, they're going to fire me before I even start. And she said, what do you mean? Like, blah, blah, blah. So I call my manager and I'm like, you're going to be so upset. I apologize in advance. This is my fault. I'm taking full accountability. I'm like, but I failed the exam. And he's like, that's okay. It's not a big deal. Like, just reschedule it. Right. So I reschedule it, whatever. Guys, on my fifth time, fifth, you heard right, I passed, okay? I got like a 79, which was not something to brag about, but I was just overthinking the whole thing. Now, moving forward, I was like, okay, that test nothing could be harder than that test, at least for me. Okay, for me, guys. So I go in and, they were very heavy on the job training at that time. We're all face to face, okay? And we did no cost benefits. So in other words, my trainer was a gentleman. He's awesome, by the way. His name was Wilmer. He was great, okay? And Wilmer wouldn't be mad if I was dropping his name on here. But the issue with Wilmer was that Wilmer's clientele all spoke Spanish and I didn't. So my on-the-job training was always in front of people who spoke Spanish. So the first home that I went into with Wilmer, I really didn't understand, y'all. I didn't understand commission. I was so confused. We gave them a no cost benefit, okay, which was a child safety kit. Some of y'all might know the company. It's great. Yeah. Now he collected some referrals. We leave. He didn't make the sale, which I didn't understand. I know, really hard to understand. I'm with y'all, okay? But I asked him, how much did you make in there? And he looks at me like I'm stupid because I mean, that's fair, right? And he's like, I didn't, I didn't. And I'm like, but you gave him that benefit. He's like, that's why it's called a no cost benefit. So I was bait and switching people, guys. Okay. Now I worked there for 2 years. I knocked on people's doors. We did what we call T-canvas, which just means like, Crystal, I would be at your door and I'd be like, hey, Crystal, did you get your child safety kit yet? And you're like, well, no. And I'm like, oh, well, you're not registered with the International, Union of Police Association. We got to go ahead. You got, you have children. They're under 18. We got to make sure we get you your child safe kits. Okay. Can I come on in? And you're like, I mean, yeah, whatever. It's for the kids. You got your little badge on, whatever. So guys, my point is like, I walked into, again, a Honda Civic with no parts. Now, did I make it happen? Sure. Did I hit my goal of wanting to make 6 figures in my first full years in insurance? Sure, I did, which was really hard at that company. But now fast forward, ethics and morals, guys, they really just stopped lining up. I was like, this just doesn't make sense. There just has to be a better way to do this, okay? So I left that company, got started with another company, which was an IMO. So that kind of introduced me to leads, which is really important, and the IMO space. The way that I really kind of got bought into that was a friend of mine who was leaving that practice company called the lead in front of me. And he had just got them and he called the lead and he's like, I was like, that's fake. It was a mortgage lead. I literally looked, I said, that's fake. There's no way somebody fills that out. If that's how insurance works, I wouldn't have been selling it the way I've been selling it the last 2 years. If that's how it works. So lo and behold, he calls the lead, he books it. He's like, yeah, I remember filling that form out. Yeah, and like I can hear the whole thing, So I'm like, I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, because you know what? Like, I can't do this with them anymore. Anyway, it's all good. So now,
how old were you at this point?
How old am I at this point? Now I'm 22 years old.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So my 22-year-old self is like, okay, like my ethics and morals are better than me knocking on random people's doors and being like, hey, did you get your child safe kit, right? So I then transitioned to that, in the IMO space. And I was all on like, okay, y'all don't have scripts. You guys are a mess because everything there, it was, this is what you say. If they say this, you say this. It was like, you had to pass this 30-page script presentation to be able to go in people's houses. So with that being said, going from there into the IMO space, it was exciting. But this is what I specifically remember, Crystal. I had just put my contracting in, right? So like, we know how that works, right? And I signed a contract, okay? Just so y'all are with me, okay? Because this is important. It's like, if you don't know where you're going or you're not sure, guys, like just take a beat and just do your research because I didn't, okay? So now like 22-year-old me is all like contracted. And then I see this video randomly pop up on my Instagram of Sean Mike. And I'm like, wow, that looks like somebody I'd want to be in business with. Like, he's really confident. Like, he's doing his thing. Like, he looks like he ain't playing games. Like, right. So I go to my upline. I'm like, hey, Crystal. I'm like, Crystal, I saw this company, Family First Life. So what do you think they did? They started bashing Family First Life. Then the first thing they told me was, well, you already submitted your contracting, which should have been a red flag, guys. I was 22. I was like, oh, all right. So as time goes on, I realized, okay, wait, I could have started at this comp, which was like literally 30 points higher at the time. But I started here, which my first company, guys, just if you're on this call and your comp is higher than a 60%, like you are already 3 times my starting comp in the industry. It's sad, but it's true.
My God.
I was at a 22.5% in my first company. I got up to a 27.5%, and there's a 65% bucket. Now, my second company started at 60, moved up the guidelines kind of in increments, but, got up to, I believe like a 95. And then really what I saw there is like, you hear from all these different people, and of course, everyone's going to have their piece. And I'm sorry this is so long, Crystal, but I just want to kind of let y'all know why I got here. Like, this is just, it's important because now I walk in, I get away from the Honda Civic. I realize I can't fix the Honda Civic. It's broken. I don't got the pieces to fix it. Okay. Now what I'm walking into is I'm walking into this place where I think it's like, like I think it's a Maybach, it's brand new Maybach made, custom made for me. I was like, okay, this is it. The leads, they called, they book, right? This is
Right.
amazing. Now, guys, it was cool. It was a lot better experience. My comp doubled walking in the door, but there was still a better opportunity out there that I didn't look into.
Yeah.
So those 2.5 years that I was with this other company, it's probably a little longer than that, more like 3 years that I was with this other company. Really, what I realized is this culture thing. Everyone will be like, oh, the culture here is great. It's like, no, it's not. If someone's telling you that, like when you're trying to recruit them, it's really like a defense mechanism. And I say that because I used it. I used to always be like, well, the culture here is great. It's like, I don't care. We make the culture, right? Like at the end of the day, we make the
Right.
culture. Like all of us, when we show up in the morning, we're defining that culture. So really like kind of biggest thing I saw there was like, the culture doesn't beat what you're going to bring home to your family ever, or the impact you're going to make on people's lives, or, the fact that you're going to build a team and they're all going to leave because they're going to realize there is something better out there. And guys, we talk about posting on social media, and I want to like point this out. We talk about that here at Family First Life because we actually have something to stand on. At a lot of other companies, they will tell you, hey, maybe you recruit some people, but they will tell you, do not put that you are an insurance agent anywhere. If
Yeah.
anyone
Right.
reaches out to you, you don't answer them, you treat them awfully. Like, that's how you're trained. And it's
Right.
kind of crazy, but it also helps me at times take a step back here and be like, okay, that's okay. It's okay that this person's acting a little crazy or, got something, prissy to say. Like, it's cool because like I get it. I've been in their shoes. But
Mhm.
my point is, guys, is coming into FFL, reason I left there, it was like culture and just honestly real growing up, like realizing like, okay, like if I could work at Target and Walmart, but Target's going to pay me $4 more an hour, I'm working at Target. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just going to go across the street
Right.
to Target. So that's kind of how I looked at it. Now, obviously, the IMO I worked with at the time they were not, enthused to say the least. So they held my contracts for 6 months, all that fun jazz. I literally had two companies, but I had a choice I wanted to make. I needed to make. I could stay there and I could be complacent and I could be like, okay, well, I don't want to move my contracts and wait 6 months. Guys, in the grand scheme, I think 6 months is not that long. Like it's just not. To be in a
It's May. We're 5 months in the year now.
exactly. And it's like, who would have
Yeah.
thought? Like I'm like, it's May.
Right.
I'm like, Crystal, don't make me start sweating, girl.
I don't know.
But exactly. So it's like, 6 months is not that long. So, and it wasn't like we have no companies, guys. We can always work around that stuff. So I literally had AIG and CFG at the time. I know we don't got the CFG no more, but
Right.
I'm going in homes with paper apps. I was doing what I had to do to get it done. And I just think at that time I was still jaded. And my point in pointing that out is like coming into Family First Life, like I did have a wall up at that point. I was like, okay, like this first company, like made me bait and switch people, which I felt really bad about after the fact. But I was like, I did help them. I did serve them with life insurance, so that's okay. And then on the second company, I just like they lied about everything. Like I thought I was signing like this equity partnership BS. Like it's like I literally looked Sean Mike in his face when I met him and I said, yeah, well, I have equity in the company. He said, okay. He said, do you have a lawyer review? He was super nice. Do you have a lawyer review that? And he was super calm. He knew I didn't have equity in the damn company. And I was like, no, I haven't. He's like, well, why wouldn't you have a lawyer, review that? And I was like, I don't know. And then I just told like I went on. He's like, yeah, basically you don't, you don't have anything and like it's okay, but like let's just be on the same page. So from there, honestly, that first conversation, the authenticity that Sean showed and that like this company showed to me, it just spoke volumes. So I was excited to come in and produce at a high level, which I've always done. But I was nervous to build a team. And that was because at my first company, you would build a team and they would take the team and they'd be like, Crystal, you're so great that you're so great that we're gonna take your whole team and you're just gonna you're gonna rebuild a new one and we're gonna bump you're gonna be a supervising, expert, okay? Like, and they're just gonna give you this title, okay? And you're like, all right, yeah, and you like sign it and you're all excited, and then they take your whole team and you got to do the thing again. Now, at my second company, the person I worked with was just really not trustful, just to say the absolute least. So same type of deal was going on. Here, I was worried, hey, what if I start building? I don't really know anybody yet. Like, what, let me just feel the company out. All the dumb things that people say walking in the door, I said them too, guys, okay? But I was really nervous to build like the first, I don't know, year I was here. And I didn't. I was really like slow about it. Like, I would be like, oh, hey, like if you came to me and asked, I would be like, okay, sure, like I guess. But it's like I was nervous. I was like, like the shoe's gonna drop. Now, another thing I did in that time, I linked up me and my sister's bank accounts because my sister was also licensed and she was super jaded by the industry. And it took her, just for some like, insight, it took her 2 years to be able to even like consider it. It took COVID hitting and her not being able to perform her job, okay, for her to be able to be like, all right, let's do this thing together. So that's how I got here, Crystal, but I'm
Oh my
excited to be here
God.
today, and I'm excited to be sitting in a brand new Cadillac that I customized, aka Family First
Yes.
Life. So
Yes. And you know what? I just want to back up a little bit because, all right, listen, y'all, I need y'all to walk with me. Okay. So she started in this industry early 2021, right? All right. So first of all, when I was 20, I was in college, same thing. I got married at 23. So I'm getting married and you are and you are, I don't know what's going on my computer. Okay. And you are like on your almost second practice company at this time. I'm just giving you the
right,
parallel, right? You're knocking on doors, you're basically going door to door sales. You said paper apps, that's already dated. You're dating yourself, paper apps. Like, I can tell you right now, with all the agents that we have up here, maybe 5 or 6, maybe 10 at the most know about paper apps. Like, they're like, paper? First of all, paper anything. What is that? Like, you still use pen? Right? We don't even have an electronic pen right now that I'm using on my Remarkable. Like, we don't even use regular paper, right? So it's like, okay, kill paper apps. Like, I'm not doing that. And you're going door to door as a young female, okay? Out here now, granted, 10 years ago, the world may have been a little bit different. I don't know. It's still a little crazy. But you're still out there and you're out there and you're doing it and you're still producing at a high level, right? Because you have the
yeah,
time and the skill. But the one thing that cracks me up, and you are not the only person to do this, and every first week of the month for Thrive, I'm reminded of why social media is so important. Because you found us on social media.
yeah. Mhm.
I think of all of the ladies that I've had on this call, I'm going to say at least a strong half of them, at least a strong half were found on social media.
Absolutely.
And we just undermine it, right? And here's what else is crazy. Not only were you found on social media, you were the one that was looking.
Right.
They didn't come looking for you. You were looking for the opportunity. So, ladies, it's more than Mary Kay out there for us. And the pink Cadillac, I don't see. And let's be real, who wants to drive a pink Cadillac anyway? Like, seriously, I probably want to get a different color. Like, it is cute, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Not for us.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm a girl. I'm a girl. Don't get me wrong, but you understand what I'm saying. So the fact that you had that and you were still hungry and you were willing to give it another try. We have so many agents. I had an agent that came to our office just today on my team. He kind of set out for a year. He did everything that I didn't ask him to do, in the beginning. And he pretty much kind of worked himself out. He worked himself out. And now he sees, because it's amazing what a year can do when you're open, when you're developed, when you go through some things. And here he is now. He's like, I'm in. I'm ready to come back. And I could just see the maturity just walk through the door. And I was like, if you had that last year, imagine where you'd be right now. But it's all about timing, right? Like, I don't know what would have happened if you came here first. I don't know. But I know one thing, you were willing to take that chance over and over again, and it's all about chances. So I just want to say kudos to you for even taking the chance. I don't know if Crystal would have done that. Crystal might have been ready to tear the club up. Like, what? If I get just one more time, we fighting. Like, I ain't doing it, right? That's just the type of chick I am. And this is my birth month. I'm a Taurus, so you know I'm a tear up, right?
Right.
Like, no, okay. So, let's talk about now, fast forward. And I think it's interesting that you said you were scared to recruit. Ladies, that's another thing, right? That's huge because you're one of the 4 or 5, we were still trying to figure that out, 4 or 5 ladies. That's an integrity partner. And then we know that in order to be an integrity partner, you got to have a team, right? You can't do it by yourself. It's not a solo act. So talk a little bit more about really that faith walk that you took, not just for yourself, but for others to really step out there and build a team. I know you had to build up some stuff in yourself in order to, because one thing I do know with my team is that I'm an advocate of leading from the front, right? I just feel like I've been tried and true. I'm a mother, even, I'm trained, all these, all these things that I don't get paid for. But these are all the things that I just kind of come with the line of duty and the work that what we have, right? And leading personalities, adults, is like herding cats. It can be difficult, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because just like I told you about my agent just a little while ago, the smartest kid I know, and just in his own way. So talk about how you got to the pinnacle, because honestly, integrity, that's the goal, that's the dream, right? To have that integrity partnership and to be able to build that team after going through the adversity that you went through in the beginning to now having one of the biggest teams in the agency. Like, it's crazy. And you did it inside of what, 8, I'm going to say 7, 8 years, 6 years. I'm trying to
Yeah,
do the math.
so
Yeah,
August 2019. So yeah, we
six
did it. I
years.
mean, yes,
Wow.
6 years, yes. So I mean, first of all, I want to lead with anyone can do it. You just gotta be willing. There's gonna be some times that you're gonna be like, I don't know if this is for me anymore. And like that's in my personal opinion, that's God testing me. Like that's just temptation knocking at the door saying, are you gonna leave or are you gonna stick through it? And one of my mom's, I guess for lack of better terms, parting messages to both my sister and I was, I love you guys. I know how capable you ladies are, basically. But all I ask of you is that you finish college, which my sister already did that. So she was like, I got that done, Mom. She's like, Marysa, you finished college. I was like, okay, I will finish college. And that whatever you decide to do, you make a bigger impact and you make the world a better place than it was when you got here. And those words always stuck with me. Now, I think about my 19-year-old self hearing that from my mom, who was diagnosed terminally ill with breast cancer at 11. She ended up living 9 years. It's like, that doesn't just happen, right? Like, and what I mean by that is, I feel like this was a place I was supposed to be. My mom didn't just pass away and then I walked into a room I didn't know was about life insurance and that's what I started selling and helping people with, right? And I was like, this is making an impact and it would be leaving the world a better place than I found it. So like maybe this is where I'm supposed to be. So that's really why I persevered through those times. And also because what always came back to the forefront was what I just shared with what my mom said to me, but also what else are you gonna do, even in my practice company? What else are you gonna do that's going to allow you to make this type of income? What else are you, Marysa, qualified? Now, granted, I'm gonna give myself some credit here. Like I'm sure I could have, like, I don't know, finagled the bagel, if you will, but not to where I'm at now. Okay. It's like in really Trey always says this, and I love him for it because it always helps me keep it fresh in terms of whoever doesn't give up is just the one that's gonna win. And like, it's not as simple as that, but it is as simple as that. Like, if you persevere through times that are tough, that most people would fold, most people would not answer the phone, most people would not answer the email, most people would not follow up with the carrier and explain to them what happened, most people wouldn't be willing to face this person or that person or willing to face a situation. It's like, it's survival of the fittest. And I say that with so much love because we get to decide if we're the fittest or not in terms of this actual industry. Now, that part to me was always appealing because this industry has always been a place that I knew it's an extremely high paying industry. Now, coming into FFL, I love, Krista, how you were like, it kind of throws me off that you said you didn't want to recruit. Like, why would you not want to recruit? Well, I
Right.
didn't want to recruit because I felt like I ruined people's lives flat out. I felt like I ruined my
Mm.
sister's life. I felt like I ruined all my friends' life the
It's
time I
okay when
recruited
it's
them.
just you,
Yeah,
right?
I was
It's
like,
okay when you're
like,
just accountable for you. But when you
yeah,
bring other people, yeah.
yeah. I was like, I
You.
was like, I ruined all their lives at these two practice companies. Like, I can't have them come over here and then like ruin their life again, right? Like,
Right.
now I realize over time, like that was the complete wrong perspective. Now, did it allow me to kind of pull some people back in that I might not have? Sure. But at the same time, the biggest thing that happened was COVID hit. Christina and I linked up, and Christina was like, Marysa, you never looked at this and you were like, oh, I just want to. And she wasn't speaking for me. She was speaking from what I tell her and talk to her about all the time. She's like, you always wanted to grow a business and make a big impact and help a lot of people. And basically, we wanted to serve out this message that mom left us with. So, like, don't BS me and tell me, like, oh, you just want to personally produce. Like, no, you don't. Like, let's do this thing together and, like,
Hey.
let's go. Like, we're gonna team up. She's like, I got no idea. I'm like, I got no idea either. I just started here not that long ago, but like, we're gonna figure it out. And like,
Yeah.
when I say we were gun ho, like, oh, Crystal, and we're gonna figure it out, like, I mean, like, we were gonna figure it out. And
Right.
I want to just bring you guys back to this moment. And Christina and I always laugh. And I bring this up because it talks just about the building blocks and different times in your business where you're going to feel like, oh, like what I did last year, that like that video I made was so stupid, or like it could be something so small and irrelevant, or like I don't believe I tried to talk to that person and now they're on this person's team. Okay, that's great. Who cares? That, like, move on. But one thing I always go back to is how much fun Christina and I made it in the beginning. I remember being at Josh Mowan's office prior to having our own office. Josh, we love you. He allowed us to, rent out some offices there. Now, Christina and I literally were there, like outside of me running appointments because I was in home at the time. We were there from like 7 a.m. until literally, Crystal, like 2 in the morning because we were just
Wow.
so excited, like excited, like. And I remember specifically this one night, we were there super late. Christina's laughing. I could see her face. Ruined it for me. And and we were recording a BOM because that's what we needed at the time, or we thought we needed, if you will.
Right.
And I'm in front of this like TV that's on a stand, and I look like a news anchor, like flat out. Like I'm like like pointing to like the like it was the worst BOM in the world. And now anytime I would get through the beginning, Christina was filming it, and at the time it's like if someone was in the room laughing, like she ruined it for me so many times, right? But it's like either I would mess up or like she would start laughing about something I said or how I said it or whatever. And we're just delirious. It was literally like 2 a.m. But my point is we did not leave that office until we wrapped up that BOM. Now, was
Mhm.
it the BOM I am most proud of? Definitely not. Definitely not. But was it where I was in that time in the business? And did I have fun doing it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like those are the times that you got to go back to on the bad days and remember, like, okay, remember that time we were sitting, like, we were all laughing. Remember that time we were on Zoom and all these new agents made sales, or like, remember that time that I was about to quit and then I was able to help 25 families the next week, like, whatever it is. But point
Right.
being is that's when we really started seeing building blocks. And I think it really started becoming more like, okay, hey, let's remember, like, this is a business. You didn't come here to be self-employed. Neither did I, Christina, my sister, right? So like, let's build it like a business and like, let's get this thing rolling. And until I don't think if the pandemic hit, I don't know that I would have taken it as seriously. And that's just me being 100% transparent. But now
No.
that we're here, I'm really happy I did.
I tell you, man, see, listen. Okay, first of all, I just want to say this is why it's good to have sisters, right? And ladies, I hope that y'all know that we're all sisters on this screen. I hope y'all know this. I hope that y'all understand that Thrive, y'all are my sister. Like, I see KG, I'm like, what's up, sis? I see Heather, I'm like, what's up, sis? Like, and they know it. Like, first of all, you know what you're going to get with me. I'm going to come up to you, I'm going to say, hey, sis, and I'm going to hug you. Why? Because you're my sister. Because we have to, what, ladies? Fix each other's crowns. Your sister fixed your crown in that moment. She allowed you to be that sounding board. She snatched you up and said, listen, are you crazy? This is what we came to do, right? Like you need your sister in your life, whether it's biological or whether it's just your corporate sister, your work sister, your Zoom sister. It doesn't matter. You need your sister, ladies. We need our sisters, right?
We do.
We need it because let me tell you, in a world of men, especially in the industry where the men are the leaders and the head and they're dominating and they're always being showcased. We need our sisters. I go off when the girls hit the stage. If y'all ever hear somebody yelling and it's like its own little, and it's me. Just know it's me. I'm telling you now, it's me. It's me. All right. I've been caught on video a couple of times, but it's all right. That's a good video to be caught on the way I see it. But I want to applaud my sister. Christina, kudos to you girls for holding your sister down because we needed that. We needed that. And then another thing, I love how you said, it is survival of the fittest, but we decide how fit we are. Oh God, do you understand? Like we are more than we realize, but we'll never have the opportunity to show how fit we are until we get our butts in the gym or we get on the track, right? Or we're at home and we go to lift something. We're like, oh, that wasn't too bad. I got some muscle memory there. It's the same. It's survival of the fittest. But you determine how fit you are, and you're fit. You're fit for this. We are fit and built for this. So, talking about culture. All right. So you've gone from nothing, right? How big is your team now?
We have about 120 active writers each month.
Okay. 120 writers is what she said. I hope y'all got that. She got more people, but 120 are writing. Yeah, I ain't slow. Okay. I went to college. 120 writers. Awesome. Phenomenal. I'm gonna be there, Marysa. You already know it, girl. I'm coming. I'm recruiting, I'm building. We're gonna get there. So
Facts.
Let's talk about, we're talking about leading from the front because everything that you talked about and mentioned has really built you for this time, and just leading from the front is something I think that we do naturally as women, right? We're nurturers, we're doctors, we're medics, we're counselors, we're huggers, we're all of these things, but you know what? We're leaders too. So understanding that, oh God, 120 plus writers, that means they are actively doing applications every single month, ladies. That's 120 personalities, 120 plus households represented, okay? Who have 120 families that are represented with 120 different schedules from different states, I'm sure, because everybody's not in the same state, so different time zones, right? How are you leading all of that, all right? And keeping your crown straight. I got my pen ready because I'm ready to take some notes. Just rip.
Absolutely. I love how first and foremost you said, hey, like we're all sisters here. And it's like, guys, like facts. And no matter who that is, biological, unbiological, you can lean on that person and they can lean on you. Like that's a beautiful thing. Don't ever let any BS get in between that. It will not be worth it. Now, as it pertains to leading from the front, I feel like I've almost always wanted to like lead from the front because I always wanted to show like we can always do better, if that makes sense. Like we can do better, and like if I can do it, like anyone on here can do it, because like I didn't even know we got paid commissions, guys, when I came into the industry. Okay, like so like guys, like you can lead from the front, even if you think you're not right now, you can. And really, to me, what that means is making sure that first and foremost, like one thing that we always hear in the industry is put your oxygen mask on first and then help others around you, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you could kind of take leading from the front like, oh, I got to spend all my time with my team. Okay, you got to spend time with your team. I hope you're on your virtual dials, you're doing your thing. Absolutely. But you also got to get your own stuff done. I wouldn't be in my opinion, leading from the front, if I'm sitting here telling, Heather, like, hey, Heather, like, we're going to kill it this month. I hope you write, you want to write 70, I want to write 75, like, let's run this thing up. And then I'm not working. It's like, that's confusing. Or I'm like, Heather, we do new agent, Heather, new agent, because we know Heather ain't new, but I just see you on my screen, so I love you. But we see that and we're like, okay, Heather, new agent, I want, please like hop onto the Zoom. The new agent room is open from this time to this time. So we do a new agent room. Now, what is that doing? It's allowing me to protect my time. It's allowing the other leaders on the team to protect their time, but also work together collectively, right? How can we make sure we're hitting our numbers, but also that we're helping new agents get started and we're helping them get moving? They feel like they're in a culture of support, not just by their direct upline. Here's what I can tell you. If you are the kind of person, anybody on here, and like I've been the kind of person in moments that you want to make sure that the people who are direct to you, they like you the most here, okay? That is not what it's about, guys. When you can help other people's groups, and here's what I was like, when you can help someone else, like Tom, who's direct to, who's direct to KG, right? Hypothetically, okay? When I help Tom, whether I see it happening in front of my face or not, that is leading from the front. Because it's like, I'm taking time to take Tom's question. Tom got nothing to do with me, but I'm taking time to answer Tom and help Tom out. That's a leader, guys. Get yourself in front of people. People ask you questions and you know the answer to them, answer them. If you don't know the answer, I don't know the answer, let's find the answer is also a great answer too. So making sure that I show up for myself, I do what I say I'm going to do, and also making sure that, hey, if I ask you to be on something, I should probably be on it too, right? Like I should probably be there. So making sure that you're showing up to the things that you're asking people to show up to, and allowing your people to feel like they can talk to you. Now, I feel like, or I hope that everybody on my team feels like they can come to me. Now, I don't mean come to me and complain, but I mean come to me and be like, hey, this is what I got going on. Like my whole team knows the complaint department has been closed for like 3 years now. It ain't ever opening back up. We don't have a complaint department here. We got a concerns department. That's about as far as it goes. But from there, I think that people learn also to respect your time and respect what you're trying to do in your mission when you're actually doing the things you're saying you're going to do, and you're actually showing them through example, like, hey, I got calls to make too. Hey, I got a full schedule too. Hey, I got new leads I got to call on too. Hey, I have 100 new recruits I got to talk to too. But like, here we are. So like, let's get it done. And I think that that's really important. You got to show up for other people the way that you expect them to show up for you, or they're never going to show up for themselves, or it's just not going to work. And for me, that's kind of like what leading from the front means, is doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it.
I love it. I love it. Being a person of your word, because that's all you have, right? That's all 100%. You have is your word. And I just want you to know that I am officially taking the whole complaint department. That's mine. I'm going to patent that.
You like that, right?
It's closed.
It is. It's very closed.
It is all the way closed. As a matter of fact, we just don't even have it here, right? So yep. I love it. So I just want to open it up. I want to spend this last few minutes just to open it up because, Marysa, you are just so fire. Oh, my God. Who knew all that ignition was in that little package?
I know, I'm like, get me and you on stage together, and we're just going to have everybody like yelling and stuff. So
let me just tell you, I'm going to go ahead on and put it out there and put it in the atmosphere. We're going to make that happen, girl. Let's go.
Facts. Let's do it.
I just want to open it up for any questions. Yeah, 2 hours. Listen, we're going to bring the energy. I really do feel, Marysa, we will probably set that stage on fire. And if you bring Sean in the middle of us, it's going to be like the most busted up Oreo cookie ever. But anyway.
You're awesome.
Sean saw me at the Florida lock-in in Orlando. And I straight up rolled up on him because, I am just not a fearful person. So I just rolled up on him. He was like, I'm like, you okay? I think I might be a little scared of you. I said, I'm going to take that as a compliment. So listen, I'm super excited. Any questions, ladies? Does anybody have any questions? If you want to drop them in the chat. Also, I just want to remind everyone.
I can't chat.
Did somebody want to unmute?
Yeah, I got a question. I can't type in the chat.
Okay.
What does an average day look like for Marysa?
That's a great question. So when I wake up, I have a morning routine. I think it's really important. One thing that I've realized since losing my mom, I was 19, was I kind of lost over the in my early 20s, kind of my relationship with God, so to say. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do is when I put my feet on the ground and say thank you, because I think that that's a good way to enter into the universe. I then usually spend time, I call it time alone with God, because I don't want anybody interrupting that time. And I will either read some passage, of course, I'll do some praying, and that's how I like to start my day. From there, I'm doing some type of physical activity, hitting the shower, and then, getting to work, so to say. In the morning, I'm in that new agent room a couple of days a week, so it's going to depend on the day. But I'm going to give you a brief, if you will. In the morning, I'm usually more focused on kind of team, what's going on, and or my appointments, depending on the day. But I'm running appointments throughout the day. Now, one thing I do intentionally is I'll leave like an hour and a half gap kind of per day to make sure I have some time to reach out to agents. I have some time to follow up with my people who maybe I got the issue paid report and maybe their numbers don't look how they usually do, for good or bad, and reach out to them, right? So intentionally blocking out time to reach out to people, I think, is really important, because we can just let the days keep going. From there, I'm either on the phone running appointments, or I'm calling people to try to get in front of them. My thing is like, I'm never going to forget where I came from. So I know that I need to personally produce. And I say this respectfully, not because I need it for my bank account, but because that's what this business is about. It's about leading by example, just like we talked about. I'm recruiting throughout the day, talking to people on different forms of social media. Same thing there. I think taking intentional time and putting it to the side is extremely important. If you don't like being on social media, like I really don't, if I'm being honest, you might be like, well, your page says otherwise. Well, that's what it needs to be right now, right? Break it into 20-minute increments. Do what makes sense for you, but getting that recruiting activity, if you will, in is just as important. And then that's really what I'm doing, but I'm making sure my day starts with a thank you. And through that time with God, at the end of that, I'm going to visualize how my day is going to look. I'm going to visualize myself making sales. I'm going to visualize my new agents getting started on the right foot. I'm going to visualize what the day is going to look like. I'm going to visualize having productive conversations. But what I'm not going to visualize is what I can't be, or what's not going to happen that day, or what if this. I'm going to get all the what ifs out of my brain so I can just start my day with a clear headspace. And I know that when I can do that, whatever needs to be done in the day is going to happen.
Awesome.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that question. Hey, you said something, and I don't know why I didn't pick up on this earlier, but I just want to kind of circle back. You said you lost your mom in your early 20s, right?
I was 19.
You were 19. I was 21 when I lost my father, my dad. Yeah. So that's another symbolic moment. And some people know my story, but losing my father, he had life insurance. Now, I don't know, was that the situation with your mother? Did she have life insurance also?
So she did. Now, again, her with that diagnosis, when I was 11, stage 4 breast cancer, 6 months to live, she had life insurance through her job. And I'm pretty sure she had a guaranteed issue policy that did pay out because she lived 8 years. But that was all she got what she qualified for, guys. She got what she qualified for.
Awesome. And I love that how you start your day off affirmation. We have a challenge right now on our team that, of course, a lot of people, they start off the day with affirmation. But one of the things that I noticed is that people are great starters, but they're not necessarily good finishers. And so now we have a challenge on our team that we want to start our day and end our day with positive affirmation. And I put the challenge out there because I told him, I said, you end your day good, you're going to probably sleep a whole lot better. You're leaving the junk behind, right? And it's not on the pillow with you. It's not in the bed with you. You get to leave it out there where it is. And when you wake up fresh, guess what? You put the armor on again, get the affirmations going, and ready to fight another day. And so I just love that you do that. I think that the word affirmation has really taken place, especially since the pandemic. Some people found out they couldn't be in the same house with some folks. But now But now that we're all air quote back outside, it's people are realizing that they need that. They need to have that positivity in their life. So I'm so happy to hear that you have that. Any other questions, lady, while we have Marysa? I just love how you just wow. I would have loved to have been around you the past 6 years. I'm just kind of sad that I'm just meeting you like this past year, but it doesn't even matter because the next 60 years you got me. So,
Same.
I'm just saying it is what it is. But that's the beauty of us being
So
sisters on this call. Does somebody else have another question?
yeah, hey Crystal, this is Jessie. I just want to ask, where does she live? Huh?
She's in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Oh wow, I lived in Brookline for like 2 months.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I couldn't take the 2 blizzards after living in
Bad
Florida. I'm
timing.
like, okay, I can't. Yeah, I'm
Fair
like,
enough. Fair
no.
enough.
Awesome,
Awesome.
awesome. Well, thank you very
I have
much
a
for your story.
question.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Jesse.
One more
Go ahead,
Okay.
Casey.
Thank you so much for blessing us today. My question is, how do you manage? Because I know debt is something that, a lot of people deal with. And no matter if you're a really good salesperson or not, everyone always wants to know how, what's a better way to do it. What would you say is your way, you and your, how you manage you and your agency's debt? What is your process and that you instill in your team to manage debt and to keep it at a 30%?
Okay, so you mean like kind of like keeping things from falling off, not like
Yeah.
roll up,
What's your
right?
process? Like, yep. Like
Okay.
calling the client. How often do you follow up before you're not talking to them anymore? What's your process?
Yeah, so this is like when I went telesales, because guys, it's like I was in the home, so like it's like when you meet somebody face to face, it's a little bit different, so to say, to a point. You kind of leave feeling like, okay, like I watched Mark save me in his phone, and Debbie, his wife, gave me a cupcake on the way out, and they gave me a hug and asked if I needed to use the bathroom, and shoveled up my car to make sure I could get out, like, things like that, right? But that's not happening over the phone, so to say, like that transfer of emotion, so to say, that I know you, right? So really one of the things that I drive home in the sales process is making sure, because like we've all talked to people and they're like, well, I don't know who my agent is. And you're like, okay, they should have sent you over like their license, like their state credentials, like you can maybe find them that way. And they're like, oh no, they didn't send me nothing. And you're just kind of like sitting there like, what? Now I'm like, that's my client. Like that's my client right here. Because guess what? Guys, when we hang that phone up, if we are not communicating with the client, like, hey, this is what's going to happen next. Like 10 to 1 says you're asking for fall off. Might as well not write the business. Literally, like you're doing yourself and the client a disservice writing the business if you're not going to do what you say you're going to do. So at the end of the call, I'll say something along the lines of, all right, now, Crystal, Crystal, I've been doing this about 10 years. One thing I really pride myself on is making sure that all my clients feel comfortable and that the process actually made sense. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate my service today? They're usually going to say 10. Like if they just bought from you, they're usually going to say 10. Or they'll be like 8 and this is why. All right, cool. We come out learn a little bit. That's fine. So when someone gives you a 10, all right, you're like, all right, 10. I don't care if they give me a 2, I might ask some questions, but moving past that, right? The next thing I'm going to say is going to be, all right, so Crystal, just so you're with me, a lot of folks are probably going to be reaching out to you as it pertains to the life insurance. They're going to call you. They're going to say things like they're my manager. They have to review your policy. Your policy's been flagged for review. Nobody is going to be reaching out to you outside of me. So unless it's me, go ahead and give them my number and ask them to reach out to me for your policy details. Now, has my business been outwritten? Absolutely. But has that helped my persistency? Yes. But did it help it enough that I was like, oh, this is going from in the home to telesales? No, my persistency went down, it had to go back up. So I was doing that. And now when I get off the phone, I'm sending them like, hey, Crystal, this is what we did today. These are your policy details, making sure everything is clear cut. You have my phone number saved. Like, you think that like we both are on the same page of like we're going to be doing business for life because I'm your life insurance agent, right? At that point, I'm going to let Crystal know she's approved, right? She's going to get her policy in the mail. And now one thing I'm big on is if you're going to post, like if you're going to backdate a policy, like you're going to make it come out on the 15th of the month, as an example, you need to, we all need to, not just everybody, we all need to write that somewhere. Because what's going to happen is John's going to probably get a couple more calls in that time. John might enroll with somebody else who has a better quote. John might do a couple of different things. So on the 13th, I'm going to give John a call. Hey, John, it's your life insurance agent, Marysa Maggio, giving you a friendly reminder. You're going to see the draft of $91.67 come out of your account on the 15th with Americo. You got that policy in the mail, John? Yeah? Okay, I'll review it with him. Now, if that's big on post date, because what I realize, guys, is when you post date business, it does have a higher probability of falling off. Like that's not BS, at least not for my stats anyways. So doing that, making sure you're following up, but if it's not post dated, let's just say that it's going to draft on issue, just like how it should be, in my opinion, that's fine. What I'm going to do is in the next 3 to 5 days, I'm going to give it a full week and I'm calling you the following week. Guys, literally, even if you're the laziest, most unorganized person, you have at least your text messages to go off of. Minimally, if you didn't write jack down about your client. First of all, you should be writing a lot more down, but worst case scenario, you have at least the text message you shot over. Now I'm going to give Crystal a call. Hey, Crystal, it's Marysa. I just wanted to make sure you got that Americo policy in the mail. And you're like, yep, I got it. All right. Cool. Did you have any questions? Like, is now like you got a couple minutes to go over it? Were you able to open the package up? Is your beneficiary's name spelled correctly? And now you might think that beneficiary question is so silly, but it's so important because what I'm trying to do is make Crystal open the policy. I want her to open it up. I want her to know what she has. So now she opens it up because I'm like, I think I might have spelled, your daughter's name wrong. And you're like, oh, no, you got it right. Perfect. Now I'm like, okay, we got the 10,000, doubles in the event of an accident, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Now I'll tell you, Crystal, it's not going to be the last time you hear from me. I'm your agent for life. We typically do a review every 6 years, every 6 months to a year. So unfortunately, again, you're stuck with me for life. But I think that those two follow-ups are crucial. If you're post-dating business, you need to be calling them before the draft because you could be like, oh, I want it to draft and I want to get paid. Well, now you're asking for your persistency to tank. I would rather John tell me on the 13th he don't want the policy for the 15th so I can call the company and get it pulled out versus getting the charge back. So I know that was a long-winded answer, but that is my answer. And I'll always write down one thing about the client that I remembered, even if it's like their cat's name is Tom. And I'll just bring it up. I'll be like, hey, and Crystal, how's Tom doing over there? Right? Like the cat, right? Okay, like something silly, guys. It could be anything, but something that's going to resonate with you and the client and kind of bring them back to a laughing moment. So that's what I do that's how I train my agents. And then also how they need to be checking their back office. Like Americo can say it's approved. It's not approved. You got advanced commissions. You got 9 months of commissions up front. You need to be checking your back office for fall off. You need to be checking your email. And if you don't check your stuff, when I get the debt emails, I send them over and we have a VA that essentially just shoots out debt emails saying you have debt with this company. This is how you take care of it. And it's just mapped out. So I hope that answers your question or how it's helpful, KG.
That was awesome. Super awesome way to bring us in on home to teach us how to make sure we are keeping our clients, right? Because honestly, it's the gift that keeps giving. We're not just in it for the one hit, right? We're in it for the residual and that constant. So thank you so much for those last minute nuggets. We appreciate you so much, Marysa. I'm just super excited. Thank you so much for joining and being on Thrive. Ladies, I posted in the chat, okay? I posted in the chat my phone number. Please be sure to text me if you're not a part of the Thrive WhatsApp group and WhatsApp because I send out old videos. I send motivational stuff. So you definitely want to be a part of that and be a part of this community of women who, of course, we fix each other's crowns all the time. And then I want you all to know with Marysa right here on the phone, because I'm going to be reaching out to her later, I had a very interesting conversation with a particular person from the carrier who said she would love to see us do a women's event. So if y'all are in to do a women's conference, I think it would be awesome. Do y'all think it would be awesome, ladies, if we did that?
I was just thinking that the other day, like a FFL women's event, like FFL ladies or something.
That would be dope.
That has not been done. And so I think Thrive is a nice segue for us to do this, ladies. So listen, I'm gonna really work hard with some of these phenomenal ladies that we can see if we can pull this off. And I know the minute I show up to Sean, he's gonna be like, yeah, whatever you need. So we're going to do our best to try to make that happen. Of course, it won't be this year. We'll take our time plan, but maybe that can be a nice little goal for next year to give us all the opportunity and some of these new agents that haven't even gotten here yet, to give them the opportunity to be a part of it too. So ladies, thank you so much, Marysa. I love you, girl. Christina, when you're
Right back
tired of her,
at you.
girl, just send her my way, okay? I need another sister in my life.
I
Hey.
appreciate you. Being on was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for having me. It was truly a pleasure. And I texted you, please add me to that WhatsApp group. I can't wait.
Absolutely. I got you. Thank you, ladies. Don't forget, fix each other's crowns. We'll see you next month. Bye.
Hi, good night.